जयति पराशर सूनुः सत्यवती हृदय नंदनो व्यासः यस्य आस्य कमलगलितं वाङ्मयममृतं जगत्पिबति व्यासाय भवनाशाय श्रीशाय गुणराशये हृद्याय शुद्धविद्याय मध्वाय च नमो नमः। नारायणं सुरगुरुं जगदेकनाथं भक्तप्रियं सकललोकनमस्कृतं च त्रैगुण्यवर्जितमजं विभुम् आद्यम् ईशं वन्दे भवघ्नं अमरासुरसिद्धवन्द्यं नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। My dear friends, we have been listening to the preparation and what mental eligibility we need to have before we study the auspicious Bhagavad Gita. As everybody knows, Vedavyasa Rishi, where he is the one who has given us the whole knowledge. If he were not to be there, definitely we would not have been discussing all the Vedic wisdom. Because it is told in Shastras, Vyasochishtam Jagat Sarvam. Whatever the knowledge, what is there in the form of Vedic wisdom and Upanishads, Puranas, whatever it is all his Uchishta. Uchishta means what we get it from his mouth. That's why when I start the prayer, Jayati Parashara Sunuhu, I say, Satyavati Hridaya Nandano Vyasaha, Yasya Asya Kamalagalitam Vangmayamamritam Jagat Pibati. The whole world drinks the nectar of the words which has come from the mouth of Vedavyasa Rishi. Vedavyasa Rishi, he himself is the incarnation of Supreme, because Vyasaya Vishnurupaya, Vyasarupaya Vishnave, Namo Vai Brahmanidaye, Vasishthaya Namo Namah. So we must respect the words of Vedavyasa Rishi. With these words, with his words, what we got the Vedic wisdom, like Mahabharata and the division of Vedas. Earlier, everybody knows that before the division of Vedas, it was one Akhanda. During Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and in the Dwapara Yuga again, people used to read the Vedas as a one. They knew very well how to understand the Vedic wisdom. But Vedavyasa Rishi, he knew that in the coming Kali Yuga, people will be mandabuddhi. People will be having less intelligence as compared to the people of the previous yugas, and they don't have time even to think of themselves. All this he knew very well. So that's why, out of compassion, he just divided all these Vedas and he made it so simple, so that everybody, Mahabharata has been written by him just for the people who cannot understand Vedic wisdom, or who cannot chant Vedas, who cannot understand Vedas. For them only he has written Mahabharata. We can't say that he has written, but he has composed. See, we can understand this. There are two types of composition. One is intellectual composition and another one is intuitional composition. The Vedic wisdom, what we see, Veda mantras, they are all not intellectual compositions. They are intuitional. All the Rishimunis, in their transcendental meditation state, it got revealed to them. So that means it is not out of their intelligence they have written. That all those are intuitional. Even Ramayana, Valmiki, he just wrote 24,000 shlokas. It was his pure intuitional composition. And even Mahabharata, written by Vedavyasa Rishi, he has done it in an intuitional way. So that's why he has given this Mahabharata for the sake of people. Stri Shudra Brahma Bandhu Nam Traina Shruti Kochara. That is the eligibility criteria there. People, Stri Shudra Brahma Bandhu Nam. Brahma Bandhu means they are just in the Kula of Brahmanas, but they are not having the qualities of Brahmanas. Stri Shudra Brahma Bandhuna. Shudra means here, please don't mistake that it is a caste. Our Rishiminis never, or our ancient scriptures never support any caste system at all. It is the Varna system that we discuss in Bhagavad Gita, where we get it. Caste is different from Varna. Our Rishiminis never touch the word caste at all. It's all Varna system. Varna means, as everyone knows, Varna means it is color. So what is the color of this human being? There are 4 types of nature of humans. Lord Krishna says that Chaturvaranyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. He has divided the human race into 4 categories. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Unfortunately, we are taking all those in the term of dividing people into casteism. That is not the true spirit of Lord Krishna there. He has divided the human race according to the psychology. It is the psychoanalysis of human race that exists in this world, not in India. Many people ask this, Lord Krishna knows only people living in India only. Why he has done this only for Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? No, it is not like that. Wherever the human beings are there and all these 4 Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra category exists. I always say that Brahmana, it is not a jati. Samskaro dvijabhujyate. It is not by birth. You can identify a person as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Janmana jayate Shudra. Samskaro dvijabhujyate. That is the samskara, what we have. A person who has taken birth in Uchchakula, he might show all the qualities of a Neecha. Even a person who has taken in low Kula, he might exhibit all the qualities of a Brahmana. Brahmana means Brahma Jnaniti Brahmana. One who is inclined towards knowledge. People who are inclined towards knowledge, there are many people in this world. They are all Brahmanas only. Sometimes I say to students, this even Einstein, Newton, they are all Brahmanas. Because they are interested, their inclination is towards knowledge. 4 categories. Kshatriya. Kshata means protection. See, in our body, Purusha Sukta says, Brahmano simukamasit bahurajanyakritah urutadasya tatvaishah padbhyam shudro ajayata. So these are the categories. You cannot degrade anyone here. You cannot degrade any Shudra. Shudra means it is not a thing which is degraded one. Because on that pada only the whole head, shoulder and stomach is completely adhara. If you remove that pada, where is your existence? So we need to know that Padbhyam Shudro Ajayata. That Shudra, the word Shudra means there is only one Acharya who has given the perfect explanation of a Shudra. Shudra means Shucham Dravayato. That means a person who melts towards the difficulty of others. Or if a other person is in difficulty or in dukkha. So, if you don't melt yourself, then you are not a Shudra. For example, each and every human being must be a Shudra first. If you don't have that quality of melting, so that means you need to care for others. If somebody is in difficulty, you need to respond. If you don't have that quality, that is the basic nature of human being that is called as Shudra. It is told by only one and only 12th century Acharya Madhvacharya, he says, Nana janasya shushrusha kartavyat karavanmite. This is the statement given by him. Nana janasya shushrusha. You are not eligible for moksha unless and until you serve human beings, other fellow human beings. See, this is the most beautiful universal philosophy contribution of Madhvacharya towards the world. He addresses the world, humans. It is not a sectarian philosophy. He says, Nana janasya shushrusha. So you must do service, physical service. That is most important in this life. Unless and until you may become a pandita, you may become a very big jnani there. But until you respond to the humans' difficulties, then you are not eligible for even moksha. That is the statement given by him. Such a beautiful statement there. Nana janasya shushrusha kartavya. Kartavya means it is a duty. You must do that. You may learn Bhagavad Gita, you may learn Mahabharata, Vedas, all the 4 Vedas and Upanishads. You may completely by heart it and you may know all the meaning of that. But still, if you don't serve the human being, you are not eligible for even moksha, liberation. Where we get such philosophical statement? So this is the most important essence of the philosophy, that Nana Janasya Shushkrusha Kartavyat Karavanmite. Karavanmite means, Kara means tax. In Kannada there is a word Kara. Kara kododu we say. Kara means there is a tax what we pay. We pay tax to the everything for the government, for the facilities what we use here. But in the world of this creation, that God, what is the tax what we pay to God? That is service to the fellow human being. That is the tax what we pay. Kartavya karavanmite. So beautiful statement. So that's why we need to understand the heart of Vedavyasa there. That's why Yasya asya kamalagalitam vangmayam amritam jagat pibati. The whole world drinks the nectar or the words which have come from the mouth of Vedavyasa. Unless and until we understand the heart, what is the spirit in which he has told so many things. Like he says, Stri Shudra Brahma Bandhunam, we cannot take it as a caste thing. If we take it as a caste thing, then the whole main purpose of creation of this Mahabharata that collapses. What is the main spirit of that? That is the category what we have. So head is very important, Brahmana, that is thinking power. Shoulder, that is protection, Kshata. That's why he is called a Kshatriya. What do you mean by Kshatriya? Kshatam Trayate. Kshata means a person who is injured or a person who needs help there. Who can do that? Everybody. So each and every human being has got all these four qualities, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. But only the percentage differs there. That percentage difference is there. Who is having more than 50% quality of any one of that, he can be categorized as he belongs to this Varna there. Varna means it is the color. What is that color? It is not the cloth color what we wear there. It is the color of the mind. That's why we say the color, the Varna, that is there in all languages. When we use this language, that now I came to know his true colors. What do you mean by that? His Swabhava. If you believe a person completely, and he has been associated with you for long years, but one fine day he backbites you and deceives you, then what you will say? Oh, now I came to know his true colors. What is that color? अब मुझे समझ में आया उसका असली रंग, बोलते हैं ना, वो क्या है रंग? वो कपड़े का रंग है या चमड़े का रंग? That is not. It is the color of the mind. That is Swabhava, Jiva Swabhava. That is original Swabhava. We don't exhibit original Swabhava. It is dormant inside. Under Prabhava, we all become good. We imitate as if we are good. But when we go out of this place, now everybody is under the influence of Prabhava. Because you are listening, I am speaking something. But once we go out of here, so we show our true colors. What are we? In Kannada also we say, "Ee kaun banna bailaitu." What is that banna? So this philosophy is there in all languages. We need to identify. Bhasha Shastra is such a beautiful thing. Unless and until you know Bhasha, you cannot understand philosophy. So Bhasha is very important. Philosophy is completely spread out in language. First you know your language first perfectly, then you can understand better philosophy. So this is how the Varna system is there, completely spread out in languages. When we say that now I came to know his true colors, that is the Swabhava of a person. So we need to understand that Swabhava. We don't know what we are first of all. See, this classification of jivas into three types, Sattvika, Rajasika and Tamasika, that division is done by only 12th century Acharya Madhvacharya. He says jivas, Jiva Traividya. Jiva Traividya is there. That's why each individual is different. We are not same. That philosophy holds good in yoga and as well as in our anatomy also. Each individual is different. We exhibit all individuality there. That's why there are crores and crores of thumbs which has come already, and crores of thumbs are existing, and crores of thumb imprints I mean to. They are going to come. But each and every thumbprint is different. God never copies his own creation. This is the beauty of creation of God. He has created so many thumbprints. That's why we use now also in forensic medicine thumbprint as an identification to find the culprit of a culprit. So that's why he never copies his own creation. We are copycats. We copy somebody else written some kavana or poem and we remove their name and we put it. So we are copycats. God never copies his own creation. That's why the most beautiful statement in philosophy is, no two things are equal, not even two leaves of a tree. No two things are equal, not even two leaves of a tree. That is the beauty of creation. When God never created anything, one thing like other. You may ask how these twins are almost similar, no? Almost similar, but not 100% similar. No? You have this 90% similarity or 95% similarity or 98% somewhere. But the 2% difference is always there and that exists. So no two things are equal and not even two leaves of a tree. There are so many mango trees. We take mango fruit from one tree to another tree. The taste differs from one to another. Forget about two trees. In the same tree, one branch and another branch has got different tastes. When we eat mango, yesterday what I ate, that mango, that taste was different, and today what I am eating, this is different. That difference is the true philosophy, what we have. We may say we are all one. That is a nonsense statement in philosophy. We cannot be one at all. We have our own individuality. Each and every human being, we are all one. That is a political statement. Even though they say we are all one, only one can become president and only one can become chief minister or prime minister. Not everyone. You are all eligible, but you cannot become. See, this statement is a bogus statement in philosophy. All are one, all are one. No, we have our own individuality. We have our own swabhava. That swabhava, what is mentioned, that is the main door for Bhagavad Gita. To say this only Vedavyasa Rishi, he is the same, Lord Krishna. Vyasam vasishtam aptaram shaktehe pautram akalmasham parasharatmajam vande shukatatam taponidhim. Lord Krishna, he has come in the form of giving jnana karya and bala karya. Why God incarnates? For two purposes it seems. Jnana karya and bala karya. So here, Lord Krishna came in the form of jnana karya, not bala. He did not fight with anyone. He did not touch any weapon there. He gave the knowledge. Rama, there in Treta Yuga, he came for fighting only. He did not give any upadesha to anyone. So that is balakarya. So the Lord's incarnation happens for two purposes. Either it is jnanakarya or balakarya. In Krishna Avadara, he has done more upadesha there. He never touched any weapon. He has taken that oath that I will not touch the weapon in battlefield. He has taken the oath. So he has continued to keep his oath there. So that's why we need to know that Lord Krishna's incarnation is for Jnanakarya. And keeping Arjuna as the base or Arjuna as the media, he is directing to all the living entity. That is especially humans only. Because only in human life we can do all this sadhana, not in any other life. We need to know that human life is almost precious and it is the most highly evolved consciousness. Maximum evolution of consciousness is there only in human being, not in any other living entities. In prani and in other creatures, we can't do any sadhana. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunancha samanyamitat pasubirnarana dharmo viheko adhiko vishesho dharmo vihinaha. So beautiful. Subhashitas are there. So we need to know. So that's why Vedavyasa Rishi, he said, Bharatam sarvashastreshu bharate gitikavara vishno sahasranamapi jneyam patyamcha tadvayam. So evam adhyatmanishtam hi. Mahabharata 1 lakh shlokas are there. All those 1 lakh shlokas are philosophically oriented. Evam adhyatmanishtam hi bharatam sarvamuchyate. This is a beautiful statement which is given. So that's why he says, Dashartaha Sarva Bharat, Trayortaha Sarva Vedeshu. See, he says 3 meanings we can interpret for Veda. For a Veda mantra, we can interpret 3 levels of meanings. Trayortaha Sarva Vedeshu, Dashartaha Sarva Bharate. 10 meanings are there. Forget about 10 meaning. One meaning only we cannot understand or contemplate. So that is the composition of Vedavyasa Rishi. Vishnu Sahasranamapi Jneyam Patyamcha Tatvayam. So we have to understand Vishnu Sahasranama has got 100 meaning. Dasharthaha Sarva Bharate. Vishnu Sahasranamapi Shatarthakam. Nirantara Shatarthakam it is. 100 meanings are there for Vishnu Sahasranama. So this Vishnu Sahasranama and Bhagavad Gita comes in Mahabharata only. So if we need to, many people they argue that Vishnu Sahasranama should not be chanted by females. Then why it is told that only for the purpose of Stri Shudra Brahma Bandhunam, Tri Nashtuti Gochara. Vedavyasa says this. So only for the purpose of people who are dull-headed, for them have composed this Vishnu Sahasranama and Bhagavad Gita, which is the part of Mahabharata. So we saw all the preparations, how we need to prepare physically, mentally, everything. This is the background what we have. And with this background we have to enter into Bhagavad Gita. What is the main scene there? What is happening there? So we need to know that. There are only 7 characters in Mahabharata. You must analyze this. Whole Mahabharata revolves around only 7 characters. There is no 8th one. Only 7. What are those 7 important characters? Panchapandavas, Draupadi and Krishna. They ends. Everything ends in these 7 characters. They represent human values. We so-called humans, we have some values. We need to respect that. So these Pandavas, Draupadi and Krishna, they represent human values. What are those human values we need to know first. Then only we can enter into Bhagavad Gita. What are the values, human values represented by these Panchapandavas, Draupadi and Krishna? They all represent the total number of values, human values are only 18. If I start telling the secret of 18, that itself is a very big revelation actually. Purposefully Vedavyasa Rishi made everything as 18. There is a purpose for that number 18. 18 is the end number in philosophy. If I say in language what is philosophy, you will understand on your background. So what is your background of your experience? On that experience background you will understand. What is my experience background? I speak on background of my experience. It need not be same. You will understand in definitely different way. Language communicates differently to different people. But if I say something in number, it is 1. That is single. It is universal. Number 18 is the end. We all, the jivas, we are bound in 15 fences. 15 fences are the boundaries. We have made this boundary. Pranat, Shraddha, Khamba, Yudhotiraha, Prithivi, Indriyam, Manaha, Mano, Annam, Anna, Viryam, Tapo, Mantraha, Mantralokaha, Lokeshu, Namacha. See, this is 18 numbers. So we are bound, this jiva is bound in 15 fences. And these 15 fences, they are going to bind the 16th one, that is jiva. 17th one is Prakriti, the nature. What we call it as Lakshmi, that is the nature. And 18th one is Narayana. The number 18, we should achieve this 15, the 16th one jiva is bound in 15. With the grace of 17, we are going to get liberated from this 15, and with her mercy only, we can reach number 18. So there is no number further 19 in philosophy. Vedavyasa Rishi, he wanted to convey this. If he had said in language, definitely people would have thought in different way. They would have interpreted in different way. There are so many interpretations for Mahabharata and Ramayana and all other Upanishads. He wanted to say in numbers. He knew very well. That's why I always say psychology, numerology. They are the wings of the bird philosophy. If your philosophy bird has to fly high, then it should have 2 wings. That is numerology and psychology. So he purposely says this number 18. What are the human values that are represented by Pandavas? Just I will tell you. We will discuss that in detail in my next opportunity there. Just I will tell you, name that. Dharma is represented by Dharmaraja. Dharma, the righteousness. And Bhima represents 10 human values. That is Jnana, Bhakti, okay, Vairagya. Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya. Prajna, Meda, Dhriti, Sthiti, Prana, Bala and Yoga. That is 10 human values represented by Bhima. Then Arjuna represents Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These are the 3 human values represented by Arjuna. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Nakula and Sahadeva. Nakula represents Sheela and Sahadeva represents Vinaya. Sheela and Vinaya. Sheela means character, Vinaya means modesty. So these are the human values represented by Panchapandavas. So Dharmaraja, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula and Sahadeva. Then Draupadi represents Jnana, that is Veda Vidya. Veda Vidya, wisdom, is represented by Draupadi. And Krishna represents Veda Vedya. So he is to be known. So he is Veda Vedya. Veda Vidya is represented by Draupadi. So how they represent each quality and each human values we can analyze in next opportunity. Till then, Hari Om Tat Sat.